Scorpio, someone is losing sleep thinking about you. Someone who hurt you, betrayed you, abandoned you when you needed them most, and now can't live in peace with what they did. This person is about to reappear in your life. And no, it's not a maybe. It's not a possibility, it's a certainty. They will seek you out. They will ask for forgiveness. And you are not at all prepared for what this will provoke within you. Because you spent so much time building fortresses around this pain. You buried the hurt so deep, transformed it into power, into fuel, into a reason to never trust again. And suddenly, out of nowhere, this person you swore you'd forgotten will reappear vulnerable, broken, begging for a chance to fix what they destroyed. So, Scorpio, what will you do when the past knocks on your door asking to come back? You think you're ready. You think that if this happened, you'd know exactly what to say, how to react, whether to forgive or send them away. But you're not ready, because when that person shows up, when you look into their eyes and see true remorse, something inside you will shatter again, not in the same way it shattered when they hurt you, but it will shatter that armor you've built, that version of yourself that says, I don't need anyone, I don't feel anything anymore, because you do feel. You always have. You've just become very good at pretending you don't. And do you know who that person is? You already suspect. There's a name echoing in your head right now. It could be that love that destroyed you and then disappeared as if nothing had happened. It could be that friend who stabbed you in the back when you trusted them most. It could be that family member who judged you, condemned you, made you feel like you were wrong for being exactly who you are. It could even be someone you think you've completely overcome, but your body knows the truth. Your body still carries the mark of that wound. And when that person reappears, your body will remember everything. But here's what will truly shock you. You'll also discover why this person hurt you. And the reason isn't what you imagined all these years. You created a story in your head. A narrative where you were a victim of pure evil, of gratuitous cruelty. And in part, you're right. What they did to you was unfair. It was cruel. It was wrong. But the motivation behind it? It wasn't about you. It never was. It was about their pain. About their fear. About their own unhealed wounds that made them hurt you. And this, Scorpio, this will destroy you in a different way. Because all this time, you've kept this person on a pedestal of villains. You needed them to be completely evil to justify your anger, your resentment, your refusal to forgive. But when you discover that they are just human, just broken, just doing the best they could with the conscience they had at the time, what's left of your revenge? What's left of your victim story? What's left of your reason to remain hard, closed off, distrustful? Now take a deep breath, because I'm going to tell you exactly what's going to happen. This person will appear when you least expect it. Maybe it will be a message. Maybe it will be a chance encounter that's anything but casual. Maybe it will be through someone who will act as a bridge. But they will arrive, and they will arrive at the exact moment when you're starting to open your heart again. At the moment when you're starting to trust again. At the moment when you're starting to believe that maybe, just maybe, not everyone will betray you. And that's why the universe is bringing this person to you now, not to hurt you again, but to show you something you need to see, to give you the opportunity to close a cycle that was never closed, to offer you a choice you never had, to forgive or not to forgive, but this time from a place of power, not pain. This time you choose consciously. This time you are not the victim. You are the judge. And what will you do with this power? Because let's be honest, Scorpio, you've fantasized about this moment. How many times have you rehearsed in your head what you would say if this person came back? How many times have you imagined them suffering, regretting, begging for your forgiveness? And in all these fantasies, you were in control. You were cold. You were unreachable. You had the power to deny, to reject, to make them feel a fraction of what you felt. But here's the truth. When that moment truly arrives, you won't be able to be cold, because you're not made of ice, Scorpio. You're made of fire. And fire burns, including the one who carries it. So when that person shows up asking for forgiveness, you'll feel everything at once. Anger that they dared to come back after everything. Relief because finally someone acknowledged what they did to you. Confusion because you didn't expect to feel anything and you're feeling everything. Fear that forgiving means what happened was okay. And that terrible question, the one you're most afraid to answer, what if I still feel something for that person? Because that's how it is, isn't it? The biggest fear isn't that she'll come back. The biggest fear is that she'll come back and you'll realize you never stopped caring. That beneath all that anger, beneath all that hurt, beneath all those layers of protection, there's still love. Or maybe not love. Maybe it's just the memory of what was. Maybe it's just the nostalgia for who you were before you were broken. Maybe it's just the desire to go back in time and do things differently. But whatever it is, it's there, pulsating, alive, waiting to be recognized. And now comes the part that will turn everything upside down. You need to forgive, not for her sake, for your own. Because carrying this resentment, this bitterness, this story of betrayal, it's killing you. You don't see it because you've become accustomed to the weight. But it's killing you. It's preventing you from loving completely. It's preventing you from truly trusting. It's preventing you from being vulnerable, from surrendering, from living without the constant fear of being hurt again. You transformed that pain into armor, and the armor protected you. It kept you safe. It gave you the strength to move forward. But now the armor is imprisoning you. It's suffocating you. It's preventing anything good from entering because you're so busy protecting yourself from evil that you've forgotten to open yourself to good. And forgiving that person, it's not about saying what they did was okay. It's about freeing yourself from the prison you built around that pain. But there's one thing you need to understand before this person appears. Forgiveness is not reconciliation. You can forgive and still choose not to have that person in your life. You can release the hurt without releasing the lesson. You can let go of resentment without letting go of your conscience. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It doesn't mean going back. It doesn't mean giving more chances. Forgiveness simply means stopping carrying the poison of what they did to you. It means choosing your peace over your revenge. And when that person appears, you'll have to make that decision. They'll ask for forgiveness. They'll explain. They'll show you they've changed. And it might even be true. They might really have evolved. They might really see now what they didn't see before. But that doesn't obligate you to anything. You don't owe forgiveness to anyone. You only owe peace to yourself. So if forgiving brings you peace, forgive. If not forgiving brings you peace, don't forgive. But whatever your choice, let it be conscious. Let it be yours. Not an automatic reaction, not a conditioned response, a real choice. Now let me tell you something no one else will tell you. You also need her forgiveness, not because you did anything wrong, but because you kept it inside in a way that poisoned part of who you are. You need to hear from her that it wasn't your fault, that you didn't do anything to deserve it, that you weren't too much, too intense, too difficult. You need to hear that the problem wasn't you. And when you hear that, something inside you that has been frozen for years will begin to melt. And there's more. You'll discover that forgiving doesn't make you weak. You always thought forgiveness was weakness, that it's letting go, that it's being a doormat, but it's not. Forgiveness is strength. It's the strength to let go of what hurts you, even when part of you wants to keep holding on, because that pain has become familiar, has become your identity, has become your reason for being. Forgiveness is the courage to say, I don't need this anymore, and move on without the weight of the past. But here's what will scare you. When you forgive that person, you'll have to forgive yourself too, because you carry guilt. Guilt for not seeing the signs, guilt for trusting, guilt for giving yourself away, guilt for loving someone who hurt you, and you punished yourself for years for that naivete. You closed your heart. You swore never to be vulnerable again. You turned love into a weapon of self-protection. But Scorpio, you weren't to blame. Trusting isn't naivete. Loving isn't weakness. You didn't deserve to be hurt, And you need to stop punishing yourself for having an open heart. And you know what else? That person who's going to ask for your forgiveness, they might not be perfect. Their forgiveness might come late. It might come incomplete. It might come mixed with justifications. It might come in a way that doesn't completely satisfy what you need to hear. And you'll have to decide if that's enough, because sometimes people can't give us the perfect closure we need. Sometimes they give what they can give, and we have to decide whether we wait for the ideal version or accept what's possible and create our own closure. So when she appears, observe. Observe the intention. Observe the energy. Observe if it's a genuine apology or disguised emotional manipulation. Because you know the difference, Scorpio. You always have. You read people. You see through the masks. So don't let your desire for closure blind you to the truth. If the forgiveness is genuine, you will feel it. If it's just a strategy to ease her conscience without real change, you will also feel it, and then you act accordingly. But there's one last truth that needs to be revealed. The person who will ask for your forgiveness may not be who you expect. You're thinking of that specific name, that person who hurt you deeply. But it could be someone else. It could be someone you don't even remember anymore. Someone who hurt you in a way that seemed small at the time, but left a mark you never fully processed. And when that person appears, you'll have to dive deep to find that forgotten wound, to remember why it hurts, to understand what it meant, and then decide if you're ready to let go. Because in the end, Scorpio, it doesn't matter who it is. What matters is that someone will give you the opportunity to let go, to release, to move on without the weight of resentment. And you can seize that opportunity, or you can waste it. You can use this moment as a portal for transformation or as fuel for more bitterness. You can choose peace or you can choose reason, because you can't have both. You can't be at peace and be certain about how much you were hurt. You have to choose one. And when you choose peace, and you will choose it because you're tired, Scorpio, you're tired of carrying all this, something magical will happen. That part of you that was frozen will come back to life. That capacity for trust that you swore was dead will begin to pulse again. That heart you locked away will begin to open slowly, carefully, but it will open. And suddenly you'll realize there's space inside you, space for new things, for new people, for new versions of yourself. And you know what's most intense about all this? You'll realize that this person asking for forgiveness is just the trigger. The real work isn't about accepting their request. It's about recognizing how many other people you need to forgive and have never admitted. How many smaller grudges you've piled up over the years, creating a mountain of resentment that you carry on your back like a badge of honor. Every little betrayal you've mentally catalogued. Every disappointment you've filed away as evidence that people are no good. Every time someone let you down and you turned that into yet another reason to never fully trust again. The person who is going to ask for your forgiveness is the universe telling you it's time to clean house, not just forgive them, but forgive everyone, including those who will never apologize, including those who don't even know they hurt you, including those who died without having the chance to make peace. Because true forgiveness doesn't depend on the other person's repentance. It depends on your willingness to not let their poison continue circulating in your veins. And you have a lot of poison circulating, Scorpio. You know it. You taste the bitter taste every day. And there's something else you need to face. You like your pain, not in a masochistic way, but it gives you identity. It gives you purpose. It gives you a reason to be strong, impenetrable, distrustful. Without this pain, who are you? Without this story of betrayal, what defines you? You've built so much of your personality around being the one who was hurt but survived, that forgiving means losing part of who you've become. And that terrifies you. Because if you're no longer the wounded person, if you're no longer the one who was betrayed, who's left? Who is Scorpio without their war scars? Because you are no longer the person who was hurt. You have evolved. You have grown. You have transformed through pain, and now you are ready to transform through forgiveness, to use this experience not as an excuse to remain closed off, but as proof that you can survive anything, that you can be deeply hurt and still choose to love again, that you can be betrayed and still choose to trust again, not out of naivete, but out of strength, out of faith in yourself, out of the knowledge that you can heal from anything. And here is the final prophecy. When you forgive that person, when you truly release that weight, a door will open, a door that has been locked since that betrayal. And on the other side of that door is everything you asked for but couldn't receive. True love, deep peace, real connection, because all of that was trying to reach you, but you were so busy holding on to the pain that you didn't have room to receive the healing. So get ready, Scorpio. That person is coming. Forgiveness is coming. Your liberation is coming. And when it arrives, you will have to make the most important choice of your life. Do you continue to be who pain has transformed you into? Or do you allow yourself to transform again? This time through love, through forgiveness, through the conscious choice not to let the past define your future. Do you continue to carry the story of the one who hurt you? Or do you begin to write a new story where you are the one who chose peace, who chose to let go, who chose to live free from the weight of resentment? And when you look into that person's eyes and hear the words, "Forgive me," you'll realize something. The forgiveness they're asking for is the same forgiveness you need to give yourself, because you both carried this weight. You both paid the price for this wound, and the time has come to free yourselves, not to rebuild what was, but to build what can be. Not to return to the past, but to finally move into the future without being haunted by it. So when that moment comes, and it will, remember this. Forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about you. It's about freeing yourself from the prison you built. It's about choosing to feel again, to trust again, to love again. It's about honoring who you were in that pain, but not letting that pain define who you are now. It's about recognizing that you survived, that you are stronger than you imagined, and that you deserve to live without carrying this weight for the rest of your life. And the last question, the only one that truly matters, when that person appears before you, vulnerable, asking for forgiveness, begging for a chance to make peace with what they destroyed, will you have the courage to forgive not because they deserve it, but because you deserve it? Will you have the strength to let go, not because what happened was okay, but because continuing to hold on is killing you? Will you be able to look at that person, see their imperfect humanity, recognize your own imperfect humanity, and choose peace above all else, above reason, above revenge, above the need to make them pay eternally for what they did? Because, Scorpio, your freedom depends on this answer.